Hello friends, followers and channel members. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. In this video we are going to do something a little bit different than what I have done. And I am not a big helicopter fan when it comes to choppers in the simulator, but the one you see in the behind is a Bell 47. This has been in my hangar for almost a year now. And I initially wanted to record a tutorial and share my experience with you guys and do a review of this helicopter. Unfortunately, at the time, the flight model and the version that was in effect prevented me from doing that because it was a little bit hard to control and touchy. So therefore, I just decided not to do a tutorial because I wasn't even able to control it. But today, with the updates, I think this advanced to a point where it's at least easier to fly. With the easy flight model, I am not anywhere close to bringing the flight model to realistic just yet because I'm still learning how to fly helicopters and they are quite different than aircraft. And with the easy model, I think you can also try this for yourself and fly around and see how it looks like. So as you see in the background, our pilot is having a heart attack right now and he's super nervous, shaking because he knows I don't know how to fly the helicopters, and I think that's why he is super nervous. So I'm not sure if we need to call an ambulance or take him to a hospital using the helicopter. We are currently in France, in the middle of nowhere. So I just wanted something in the country with no buildings whatsoever around, because there's a chance that I might be hitting things. So that's why I just wanted an airfield with grass strip, and that's what we are doing and where we are. So speaking about the model, I think it's detailed enough. I need to switch the cameras to show you guys. So this is the interior. You have a compass or heading indicator here. Very simple, just single narrow radio for comms. Transponder. The temperature, oil and fuel temp. Oh, I'm sorry, carburetor air and temperature gauges, magnetos. This is a digital clock. Battery and alternator switches, fuel primer, RPM gauge, airspeed indicator, manifold pressure, altimeter, and oil and fuel gauges down below, and vertical speed indicator, and the fuel quantity and cylinder head temperature. And very down below are your lights for instruments, nav lights, etc. Your cyclic, your pedals, your engine governor and starter switch. So very simple cockpit layout, not too complicated. This helicopter itself is not complicated. It's a simple helicopter, but it's kind of fun to fly, to be honest. And when you look at the model, I think it's detailed enough to a point where you can just appreciate this naked body style, and even though there are not too many things to model, I think everything is modeled nicely. The rotors, the fuel tanks, the forward cabin. Pilot is still having a heart attack or something else, I'm not sure. The tail, everything I think looks nice, at least to my eyes. Except I don't like the glass. It's not looking super realistic, and from inside the reflections are not something I'm a huge fan of. Sometimes it makes visibility a little bit hard. You'll see what I'm talking about if we face away from the sun and start to receive the sunlight from behind. It shines on this glass and it's sometimes hard to see around. Anyway, so I'm not gonna speak about the model. I have checked some reference photos of this same helicopter, the real life model, and it looks pretty accurate. It might be missing some details that I'm not aware of because of not being used to the helicopters, but all in all, I think this is a good looking aircraft model, and high quality enough to please your eyes and, you know, just try something different. So Flyinside Bell is what this is if you don't know. Bell 47, and it has a very simple startup procedure. We'll go through that just in case if you want to purchase this for yourself. So you turn the battery switch to on. I have a controller assignment for that, so everything comes to life, and then you put the mixture to full rich and set your transponder to standby, set your transponder code. We will keep 7000 for now, and then you'll turn your nail lights down below, and then your beacon, because we are going to start the engines. We'll prime the fuel engine with the fuel prime switch, though it's not, looks like it's not doing anything. I'm not sure if it does, because I'm not seeing any fuel pressure or anything like that, so just be aware. Just looking down to see if I'm missing anything. That's the strobes, we will worry about that later. Yeah, the fuel prime, I'm just looking here to see if there will be any movement, but there is not, but it's not going to cause a problem to start this aircraft. Next thing is to move the magnetos to both, and there they are, and that's pretty much it. You hit the starter switch here. The sounds are fantastic. I like the sounds. This is a piston engine helicopter, but I think it's done right. You just feel the difference in sound, and transitions are great as the engine comes to life and starts to spin the rotor. So no complaints there. Well done. So we are about to take off. We'll just turn our alternator on to charge our batteries and rest of the lights on, and transponder to altitude reporting, and we are ready to roll. So for helicopters, this is your cyclic and this is your collective. Collective is sort of the throttle equivalent when you think about an airplane. And the cyclic is basically your side stick, if you will. And the different thing from an airplane with the helicopters is you have to engage a lot more and try to, you know, control your movement by making small inputs and trying to keep her steady and away from doing crazy things. And the power control is done for two different things. One, to obviously take off and then control your altitude and control your speed. So forward pitch is what is going to control your speed. The more you pitch, or yeah, you pitch forward, the more speed you get, or you will accelerate, in other words. The less you pitch, the speed will be less, and then to slow down you have to pitch back or pitch up in this case, if that's the right jargon, and slow her down by bleeding off some speed. We will try to take a look at those. We'll take off and try to hover first and then navigate around. So no movement whatsoever, it's dead center right now. I am just going to add collective slowly, and you will see her. This is the manifold pressure, around 20 inches she is gonna lift off the ground. Slowly adding more, and it takes quite some throttle to get her off the ground. And there we go. Oops. As you see, because we were facing backwards and on a sort of slope, she wanted to move back. And as I said, I'm using the easy flight model. This is not that easy as it seems if you choose to use the realistic flight model. To slow down is, as I said, pitch back, and there we go. So we are going to try to keep her in a hovering position. Something is happening with real weather, so very small movements you need to make, otherwise you probably will lose control. So we are going forward again, so again countering that with very small movements, and you see my cyclic and the movement to stay hovering, which is not easy even with the easy flight model. The pedals usually are used to change your direction, and in the easy model you don't have to counter the engine rotation with rudder, but in medium and realistic flight models you have to apply rudder to counter the engine rotation so that your aircraft doesn't start spinning around. So we are going to head towards the GA aircraft you see in front of us. For turns you have to help her turn by using rudder pedals or pedals too. They are not rudder pedals, by the way. They are torque pedals to counter the torque generated by the engine. I'm just using the wrong terminology there. And to help her turn you need to apply pedals to make her turn, and she will just turn. You can also use the cyclic for smaller turns, but if you are taking a sharp turn you have to use the torque pedals to turn around. So that appears like a runway. I'm not sure, I'm just looking for the windsock. This is the first time I'm in this airport. Oh no, that's not runway. That's not the runway. The runway is way back where the windsock is, so we'll just go towards there. And as you see, we are kind of moving sideways here. I'm just trying to go more straight, and to do that you have to control your movement and be aware of where you are going. As I said, I'm still learning. It's a little bit fast than I like, so we'll slow down that and then try to find the runway. Again, I'm going sideways here, so we'll just slow down here, and there we go, and turn around and take a look to see which looks like a runway. And when you are using the torque pedals to make her turn, you sometimes have to counter with using your cyclic to keep her nice and steady. Anyway, not too bad, I guess, and that looks like a runway. If not, we will pretend like this is the runway. I haven't checked it for myself. We can always turn the VFR map on and see if this is the runway or not, but what we will do is we will kind of pitch forward a little bit, and we will slowly add more throttle to lift off the ground just a little bit more. Watch your speed though. This thing, if you overspeed, can become problematic. Looks like this is the runway, at least by the look of the arrows on the ground. So as you keep pitching forward, you will increase your speed, and the throttle will help you lift off the ground so that you can avoid the obstacles. She's not super fast traveling helicopter. I think it makes it perfect for sightseeing or getting used to the helicopters, because speed is your enemy if you are learning something new. But all in all, I think I'm enjoying the Bell 47 for the first time since I had it in my hangar. So we'll keep turning around and try to go over that town behind the trees. Sorry about that stutter. My sim is trying to render the reflection, and that's what I was referring to. See that reflection? It's a little bit too much to me. Maybe it's right, maybe because of the curved glass you have in this thing. It might be true that the reflections are a little bit intense. And I'm gonna turn on my track AR to be able to look around, because I think this is a perfect aircraft to go sightseeing, see around, and not to worry about keeping an eye on your instruments or your flying. You still need to put input, make inputs and make sure you are controlling your movement, but if it's the easy flight model, it's a lot more easier than medium realistic or realistic. So we were at the edge of a hill. There's another town down below. Interesting place if you ask me. We'll turn around and, you know, try to maybe follow the river a little bit and cut the throttle to, you know, descend just a little bit, watching my altimeter to see if we started descending. Looks like we did, very slowly, and you have to descend slowly, otherwise you might not be able to gain the lift and get back up in the air if it's too fast or too big of a vertical speed or too high vertical speed. So those things I'm still trying to learn, and this is just coming from my experience with this helicopter in a very short amount of time. But just wanted to share what I feel about this. And to do level flight, it's hard to read the vertical speed indicator. I'm just trying to come down and see. It's about 0 now, so we are not descending or ascending. We are just maintaining level flight, sort of, and my altimeter also corrects that, which I haven't set the barometric pressure, I believe. But now I'm able to follow the river, and this is my first time being able to, you know, make a plan and follow something like a road or riverbed or a tree line or a valley in between mountains. With the previous versions I wasn't able to do that, but right now I am able to, so which is a great improvement over what it was, and makes me enjoy this aircraft a lot more than I used to. Looks like there is a cathedral over here and a small town. Again, interesting places, I think, in France. And this is default scenery, guys. There are no paid scenery here. This is all default Microsoft Flight Simulator. But as I said, this is very enjoyable to fly around for sightseeing and take a look at things as you fly slowly. Little bit of elevation around us. Looks like we are in an old riverbed or valley, and the towns that are established in that valley. And what we can try at this point is we can just try to, you know, hover by bringing the cyclic back and bleeding the speed. It will make us climb when we do that, and to avoid that you have to control the throttle and cut the throttle to control your vertical speed, but it's fine for now. And I'm just gonna look around, currently 30 knots airspeed, and I'm gonna aim for this big farmland over there, and we'll try to hover and land to see how much I learned and how easy or hard it is to land in a helicopter. Because taking off is always easy, you just lift off the ground and then try to navigate, but landing requires your understanding of the flight controls and the ability to navigate to a spot that you are aiming for. So I'm gonna cut the throttle. That should start our altimeter dropping, and we should start descending. We are still moving a little bit. It's not a perfect hover, and as I mentioned, she's super touchy when she's slow. She likes to bank, and I don't think I am doing a good job with aiming for that farm field, but I can always use my pedals to turn around. Now we have 0 speed, and I think we can cut more throttle to start coming down and maybe aim for that patch or stretch of farm over there. So she's jumping quite a bit, not sure why, and I'm trying to get over those trees so that we don't, and that might be due to not having any speed. So, and again, one more time, trying to hover again and pitching back to bleed the speed off. And you need to be very careful, guys. We can also try to go backwards if we pass the point that we are trying to get, and it is possible, like so. And there we go. I don't know why I'm having these micro stutters. Oh, looks like I'm crashing. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. As I said, it's not easy. We'll try this again. I don't know what happened. I mean, I had throttle, but she decided to crash, or maybe decided not to respond to my controls. So we'll start again. This time we will not go far, but try to get up the hill and try to land somewhere. So magnetos to both, mixture rich starter switch. There is something off. I think I heard the starter twice, and let's see if the sounds are going to be a little bit different. Looks like they are not. Alright, so looks like we are good. RPM is in the green. We have temperature in the green. I'm seeing flow. So let's increase the manifold pressure to 20 inches and keep the stick forward, because we know it's gonna tend to go backwards due to the slope. There we go. Alright, not too fast, not too fast. And we will lift off the ground this time and try to go slower. And maybe just aim for a spot that we can see around us. Maybe over close to that windsock. Let's go and try to land next to that windsock, shall we? And this is the other thing. See, the time of the day is now early morning, and that reflection is making it very hard to see. So I'm gonna quickly change the time of the day, and looks like we are able to travel a little bit slower this time. Very slow, around 10 knots of indicated airspeed. This should be easier to bleed off the speed and come to a hover to land. And the other thing is, I think you can just come with some sort of speed, cut the throttle, reduce your altitude, and then bleed the speed off when you are about to land. I think the helicopters put their rear side to the ground first, and then the front comes after. So I'm gonna start bleeding that speed off, and I'm gonna cut the throttle so that it doesn't translate to altitude. And looks like we are coming down now, so let's keep it around 20 inches. Not good. I mean, we landed sort of, we did not. Again, I'm telling you, not easy to control. Helicopters are a little bit different than what I'm used to, and they are quite touchy. Requires a lot of engagement from the pilot to stay, but looks like we are hovering now. Let's bring the throttle down gently, and oops. Alright, this is better, and I think we are on the ground now. Okay, looks like we managed to do that this time. And yeah guys, so that is Bell 47 by Flyinside. I was trying to think of the developer. Flyinside Bell 47 helicopter for you guys. All in all, I think this can be learned and it might become quite fun. But just wanted to share with you guys on what I think about this aircraft and whether it's enjoyable. I think it requires a lot of engagement, and it is enjoyable at the end of the day because you feel like you are constantly trying to control, as opposed to an airplane where you just, you know, take off, set your autopilot if you have one, and turn it on and wait until you get to the top of descent and ready to descend and land. This aircraft requires a lot more engagement from the pilot, and you have to, you know, be alert and control pretty much every second to make sure your aircraft is doing what you want it to do. And by the way, our pilot is about to die there. He is shaking very badly. I'm just concerned about him. But yeah guys, thanks for watching the video and being here with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to share something different than my regular videos, and this is what came to my mind. And I said that I had this in my hangar for a while. Let me just try it out and see if I can record a video. So after a year, I think this is now to a point where it can help you to learn how to fly helicopters. Also, there are some free options in flightsim.to. UH-1 or UH-1 is a very good one in terms of flight model and how the hardness to fly. I think it's easy to fly, not easy as this one, to be honest, but it can be used to learn how to fly helicopters too. So let me know in the comments if you want me guys to try that out and give my own opinion after learning a little bit more about the helicopters, and I can for sure record another video and share what I think. Again, thanks for watching, and thanks for all the support over the almost 2 years that I have been creating content for Microsoft Flight Simulator under the SimPilot channel. If you stumbled upon this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. That supports a lot and fuels me to keep going. Appreciate you guys, and I will be seeing you in the next video.